Good morning, everyone. We would like to thank your participation and interest in this activity regarding the experience that we have developed in Chile about the strategy for the climate technology development and transfer, where we want to share our experience and the lesson learned that we have developed. We would like to thank also to the participants of this event, principally our Minister Kuf from Science. I would like to thank also the Director and Advisory Board Secretary for the CTCN, Rose Buevasa. Thank you, Giovanni Calderon, the Executive Director of our Agency for Sustainability and Climate Change. And last but not least, our Professor Sebastián Vicuña, who is in Santiago, is remotely connected to share the knowledge that we have developed in this strategy. The strategy for climate change as a whole give us a frame to develop this strategy for technology and development transfer, developed from the Ministry of Science in a joint collaboration with the public, private, and also the academia to develop a tool as a means of implementation for our NDC and the long-term climate strategy in Chile. In this meeting, we will discuss about the key aspects that result in this strategy that set priorities in three sectors where technology development and transfer is expected to be able to tackle challenges in adaptation and mitigation to climate change. I would like to invite our Minister of Science, Minister Kuf, for the opening words of this event and frame this initiative. Minister.
Thank you very much. I'd like to first thank the Science Pavilion and the APCC for allowing us to do the activity today. Thank you, Rose, for being with us today. As you know, we have been committed, ambitiously committed, to carbon neutrality by 2050. But it's not just the commitment that we need, we also need the means. We need to know how to get there. And to do that, we need evidence, we need funds, and we also need technology and innovation. Use the best technology available to fight climate change and achieve then this ambitious aim. This is why we've developed our strategy for tech transfer and development. And the strategy really identifies and prioritizes sectors in which technology could have a significant impact. And in a 5-year period, it establishes a methodological commitment to organize the identification and prioritization of the necessary actions that enable the development of technology action plans. We've chosen 3 sectors, energy, agriculture, and water, as first examples, and it is a means then to implement our NDCs. I want to end by invite the public and private communities to join in the development and the implementation of the strategy, but I really want to use this opportunity to thank the team, to thank the leader of the team, Sebastián Vicuña, who's here with us today. Through him, Sebastián, please acknowledge the entire group that worked in the strategy, both from the public, from the private sector, and from academia. For us, it's a very special moment to thank every one of you from here, from Glasgow, from COP26, where sustainability and technology really meet for a better future. So I really want to use this opportunity to show all our gratefulness to the people that worked very committed in the development of the strategy back in Chile. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Kuf, for these welcoming words. As you said, one of the key aspects of this process is the strategic alliances that we develop during the design of this strategy. In this sense, I would like to invite to Sebastián Vicuña, who has a presentation of the key aspects of our strategy that we are sharing today. Sebastián, the floor and the mic is yours.
Hello, Leonardo, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Oh, okay, excellent. Okay, so, well, thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you again, Minister Group, for the invitation to lead this strategy as well, the confidence you gave me on taking this role where a lot of people representing, as you said, many sectors of the world of climate change and the world of technology development and transfer participated very generously. So it's a couple of slides I'm going to show about the basis and the objectives of this strategy. I don't know if it's on the screen now. Can share the presentation. There, excellent. Okay, so again, thank you very much. This strategy obviously start taking some notice about the challenges we face in Chile on climate change. The next slide presents a very brief synthesis of these challenges, both in terms of adaptation. The impacts of climate change are already occurring in large parts of the country, and we're seeing impacts on different sectors like agriculture, water provision, and many others. And on the other side, to meet the challenge of mitigation, carbon neutrality by 2050, we have a gap of emissions that we need to reduce very quickly, very importantly, and also there is an important challenge there. So the next slide basically shows that this strategy responds to these challenges, the challenges that Chile has to tackle to be both a climate resilience and a carbon neutral country. But also there's a formality on this because these are part of the NDC commitment that Chile has presented in the last update in 2020. Okay. So the first part of the work, next slide please, basically created a diagnosis of what were the main issues that needed to be solved to really move forward in terms of climate technology development and transfer. And we found, next slide please, that there are mainly 5 key barriers, and the strategy needed to tackle all 5 of these. There is a barrier in terms of financing. Possibilities of access to resources are difficult to many of the potential technology developers and transfer. Also, talent development, a need for training of the relevant disciplines, not those only related to engineering and technology, but many others that are key for a proper transfer of this technology development. And in addition to expanding the installed capacities, considering again social sciences as a key dimension on these disciplines. Information on many aspects, information on how technology transfer and development is happening, the ecosystem of technology development and transfer, the requirements that are needed to deploy different technologies, and the generation and access of key knowledge. Obviously, the knowledge on climate change is very relevant in the process. Then infrastructure or lack of laboratories and equipment for the validation of the technologies and the transfer, and the need to implement these technologies that will have some potential to be deployed in the field and for different sectors. And finally, some institutional ecosystem coordination barriers where we need to have them align and have the proper incentives to generate the knowledge and use that knowledge to generate technology transfer. So the strategy, next one please, focuses on this diagnosis and provides, as the minister has said, a methodological framework to basically organize over a 5-year period the contribution that the country has to do in terms of technology and development transfer based on the commitments of the NDC on 2020. Next one slide shows the objective. The main objective of this strategy is to encourage and enhance the technology and development transfer, basically identifying the fundamental sectors to promote institutional, social, economic, and environmental changes that allow this progress towards, again, the final objective, which would be a sustainable, resilient, and carbon neutral development by 2050. And the next one basically creates the pillars of this strategy, which are the specific objectives, which are first to identify and prioritize the fields and sectors that are key in terms of both greenhouse gas emissions or capture and those sectors that are affected by climate change. As the minister said, the initial group of sectors selected in the strategy are water resources, agriculture, and energy. On these selected sectors, then the strategy will establish an enabling framework that will allow the development of the key component of how technology is developed under climate change structure, which is the technology action plans. Then to enhance the generation of enabling condition for the proper technology development and transfer, and very important, and has been said before, to facilitate public-private cooperation and national coordination, considering linkages with international organizations as, for example, the Climate Change Technology Network. The final slide I'm going to show, the next one, please, presents basically another important issue, which is the governance of the strategy that needed to ensure that the deployment of the coordination mechanisms happens in a proper way, and that the ministry, the science ministry, has an important role in this governance, together with the environmental ministry, in following the different steps that will allow the prioritization, the identification of the different technology options, the design and management of the technological action plans, and then obviously the updating and the continuous scrutiny of the development of the strategy itself. So those are the key elements. There's obviously a lot more information and details on the strategy, but these are the key elements that I wanted to show in this session. So thank you very much again for the opportunity of both leading the process and also being in this session today with you.
Thank you very much, Sebastián. Thank you for your presentation and for sharing with us the process that we have developed. Dear Rose, this is our experience. This is the strategy that we have designed, but the declaration of a strategy worth nothing if we have not the ability to implement it. So that's why, for us, the tremendous support that we have received from the CTCN is a key element at the beginning of this process to implement our first experience in technology need assessment. For this reason, I would like to invite to Giovanni Calderon, Executive Director of our Agency for Sustainability and Climate Change, which is the representative of our national determined entity to the CTCN. Giovanni, please.
Well, good morning, Madam Rose Monwasa, Director of the CTCN and the Minister of Science and Technology of Chile, Mr. Kuf. Well, just briefly, I would like to thank to the CTCN for their support in this in the implementation of this project and the Ministries of Science and Energy of Chile, with whom we jointly postulate this project. For us, it is a very important initiative because it will allow us to meet the technological needs of 3 key sectors of our economies, such as the water sector, agriculture, and the energy sector. This, in addition, will allow us to advance as a country in the implementation of the technology transfer strategy, like says our minister, as well as in the fulfillment of one of the objectives of our NDC in this issue. So again, thank you very much to all the actors motivated, involved in this initiative, and we hope it will be the first of many. Thank you.
Thank you, Giovanni. Finally, we would like to invite Rose to frame the context in the support and the role that CTCN has in this process. Rose, please.
Thank you very much. I would like to start by thanking the Honorable Minister and the Director for this important occasion. I would also like to say it is in fact appropriate that we are in the IPCC pavilion because only 2 months ago, the IPCC informed us we are completely off track to achieve the objectives of the Paris Agreement. And even as we sit in COP, yesterday our heads of state and government were making renewed commitments because, as the Executive Director of the UNFCCC informed us, the NDCs that have been submitted to date cannot allow us to meet the goals of the Paris Agreement. So there is really need for enhanced ambition. Part of that ambition is going to come from harnessing the technologies that we currently have that can enable us to move over from the tipping point. We know from the science, from the IPCC, that we have half of all the technologies we need. If we can only harness those technologies, we will be at least within 1.5 to 1.7, which is way better than the 2.7 on which we are on track under the current arrangement. And so it is absolutely brilliant that Chile significantly emphasizes the importance of technology as one of the greatest enablers for us to achieve the climate goals, but really to avert the climate crisis, which we are currently all experiencing. I'm sure you've seen one of the viral videos on climate extinction that was done in the UN General Assembly, where figuratively a dinosaur is talking to humans and deriding us on why we are causing our own extinction. It's quite ironical, and yet we really do have the means to ensure our own survival. I'm a great believer in humanity, our ability to innovate, and our ability really to come up with the right solutions about leadership. And I think Chile has demonstrated that leadership. It's about vision, and Chile has demonstrated what good visionary leadership can do. And this is what we need to do across the 200 nation states that are gathered here. So for me, as a civil servant working for you, ensuring the transfer of these technologies, I can only commit that as the operational arm of the UNFCCC, we will be absolutely delighted to continue this partnership under your leadership and guidance. And that as I've committed to my friend Leonardo here and the director, we will have time to put our words into action after here, to have a meaningful conversation on how we can support the implementation of this strategy and your enhanced NDCs as you demonstrated them. So I want to thank you very much for this opportunity and the privilege to be here to witness really one of the more forward-looking strategic visions of a member state anywhere here in the UNFCCC as we congregate for COP26. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rose, for your words and for your encouraging spirit. We would like to thank all you for participating in this event. If you want to find more information, you can visit our website at the Ministry of Science and also the website of CTCN where the information is allocated. Have a good day and thank you very much. Yes.